So I believe you are doing great at your end.
Yes, ma'am.
Enjoy the vacation.
मैम वेकेशन ही चल रहा है मैम मार्च से.
So let's see. Fine. So let the people joining and okay, let me start first. Let them join simultaneously. So I'm here as your instructor or as your mentor to take care about the introduction to vulnerability assessment and the penetration testing. Okay, since this is the elective course into your syllabus, I would like to know your interest about choosing this particular elective and how exactly you would like to move ahead with this particular thing. Can you just let me know? Because now you are in sixth semester, you must be having your career path decided. That what you need to do after doing the graduation, and where exactly you need to move after doing the graduation. That you must have decided, or in the planning to decide. So can you just let me know? Can you just throw some light onto how this particular course is going to help you out? Yes. So feel free to discuss with me so that I can get the things according to your expectations. Yeah, because apart from the basic knowledge, that is for sure this particular course is going to give you, but where exactly we need to move, which can actually support your career path. So that this discussion is going to be help around to take care about your own career path. Yeah. So can anyone just throw some light onto why have you chosen this course as an elective?
Um, Good morning, ma'am. It's Anubhav.
Yes,
Um,
Anupam.
I always wanted to be in the networking security fields. I always
Uh-huh.
liked the domain, and
Okay.
I'm gonna got my postgrad in grade in this field
Uh-huh.
also. So
Uh-huh.
this will help me really understand if I really want to go in this domain only,
Mm-hmm.
or is it
Mm-hmm.
something completely different what I assume.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
I've
So what do you know about this domain, Anubhav? Can you just throw some light?
um, ma'am, what I think, I mean, uh,
Mm-hmm.
every product has a vulnerability itself. Like there can be a
Mm-hmm.
lot of different type of issues that a coder cannot think at the moment. So
Mm-hmm.
we
Mm-hmm.
have to have different type of tests to run and figure out if there's not some opening or issue
Mm-hmm.
that someone can exploit and um I guess destroy our app or something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, fine. Okay, so basically what is going on internally that you would like to focus on? Am I correct, Anubhav?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Anyone else? Avi, Tanmay, Akash said. Come on, for some of the participant, I may be a old instructor, but for some of the participant, I'm quite new. So you can interact with me, no issues. Yes, Tanmay, Avi, Devraj.
Ma'am, Akash here.
Yes, Akash, tell me.
Ma'am, this is something that interests me. So that's why,
In what sense can you just tell me what you want to do in the field of security?
well, ma'am, it's better for what I think is it's better to know how an application works and
Mm-hmm.
how you can actually find vulnerabilities that are that contain a lot, like that can
Mm-hmm.
actually take out a lot of information.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Fine. So, Okay, so any idea about how exactly the security is going to work with?
So yeah, so once you find that vulnerability, you get to patch it up. So that's where security comes into play, so that this a particular incident doesn't happen again.
Fine.
Or
Okay.
you can even with the teams right now that they have in the industries,
Uh-huh.
you can actually predict
Mm-hmm.
how they are going to attack a particular system, by which they can
Mm-hmm.
actually stop the process before it's.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So are you aware of this particular thing that there I have gone through some article that which was showing that some of the vulnerabilities were reported into the Microsoft Teams as well. Just try to find out that what was that vulnerability. It is quite available onto the internet. Yeah. Anyone else? Yes. Come on. I believe we do have. I do have almost, let's say, 35 participants or 32, I believe. Yeah, 34. And right now I'm having only 19. So are they aware of, or only 18? So are they aware of? I hope the things, the message is being reached to those students. Because if it is just the 18 students, then in that particular case, we need to start from the scratch. But the revision could be quite difficult. So I was just hoping that the message is being reached to all the students. Or if not, so please take care. Please pass this message to your group as well, so that they can join immediately. Fine, the lecture is being recorded, so there shouldn't be any kind of issue, but the interaction is required because the perception of security is going to be different for each and for each and every other participant, or for each and every organization as well, you say. Okay, so what do you mean by security? When I ask, so please make sure, since you have chosen this, the elective for your own career, so try to be as interactive as you can. The reason behind that is, until unless the interaction is going to happen, you won't be able to understand what is going on, or you won't be able to, have that particular perception what actually, the requirement is looking from you. So in that sense, please make sure that you are supposed to take care about your own interaction, your own, since you are developing your coding from the first semester. So in that case, how exactly you are coding and how exactly the things can be done, you must be, interacting with every time to find out the vulnerability. And the good platform for this particular thing is your dissertation project. Fine, so just take care about how you're supposed to move with respect to the dissertation project to find out the different kind of vulnerabilities as well. Fine. So let me share my screen with you, and which is going to, I hope, just hold on 1 second. Okay, I hope you are able to see my Excel sheet. So this is the your normal thing, and I'm assuming, okay, anyone is having the background of security, except one or two students, if I'm aware of. Any of the participant is having the background of security? Yes, all the students? Or have you studied any of the subject with the background of security into your program structure? Yeah? Or is this the first subject? Just let me know so that I can guide you according to that.
No,
Is
ma'am,
this
this is the first time.
this is a first subject? Fine. So I hope you are able to see my Excel sheet here. So, which is the first unit is going to take care about the security as well as the privacy, and followed by the secure programming practices, which is really going to let you know about the architecture, designing the security architecture, as well as the different kind of defense, specifically the defense's depth, and everything is followed by the case study. So for that, some of the vulnerabilities are being listed by CVE. So just go through that CVE website. I'm going to let you know about how exactly, or you can search onto the Google as well by your own, that how exactly the vulnerabilities are listed. Uh, After that, we are going to take care about the vulnerability assessment, and followed by the access control as well as the vulnerability. So basically, the objective is to take care about to touch each and every aspect to access the resource, and with that how exactly the different kind of vulnerabilities are. For example, if you are working with the Linux operating system, recently I do not know whether you have gone through that or not. There was a patch is being released by Qualys for the sudo bug. Are you aware of this particular thing?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So, you need to keep, so you need to understand that where exactly the vulnerabilities are. So, until unless you work with the system, try to understand this particular thing. You need to have your system handy. You must be able to understand your system in and out. Then and then only you will be able to figure out the vulnerabilities, otherwise, not. Please take a note. So even if some other people from outside of the organization is going to come to you to find out the vulnerabilities, they need to understand first the system. They need to see the document of the your system, that how your system is supposed to behave. Based on that, then only the assessment for the vulnerabilities can be started, not before that. Then we are going to take care about the authentication, where we will talk about the SAML, the OAuth, and OpenID, which are nothing but the authentication protocol. When you are going to work with the different kind of deployment architecture or multi-distributed environment deployment architecture. Then you are going to have the boundary condition vulnerabilities, which are we are going to talk about the buffer overflow as well as the boundary overflow, followed by the network configuration, where we are going to take care about the storage as well. And then we will slowly move towards the penetration testing. So before move to the penetration testing, we need to understand that what is the risk and how exactly the impact of the risk is going to move ahead. So this impact is going to actually take care about that how we are progressing with respect to the accessing or assessing that particular impact, whether I can afford to have the risk associated with that impact, or I need to take care about. So generally we say the risk is nothing but the threats into multiplied by the vulnerabilities. So we will discuss about the terminology as well, that what is exactly the threats. Threats are the danger from the external community, you can say. And the vulnerability, which are threats are going to exploit your vulnerabilities, which exist by design. Then we are going to have the policy management, which is going to say the statement of management committees, the purpose and performance and all those things when the vulnerability is reported, and followed by the report writing. Then soon we are going to take care about, you must be, I do not know whether you know these things or not. The FTP is there, NFS is there, Telnet is there. So in right now we are using the SSH. SSH is nothing but the secure shell. You must be aware of this particular thing. But before the SSH, we used to do the Telnet as well. So there is a vulnerability reported into the Telnet as well. That's why we have moved towards the SSH. So those things also we are going to discuss, followed by the network attacks. So this is the overall guidelines about how exactly we are supposed to move ahead with. Okay. Now the starting with, I'm not sharing my screen right now. So starting with the session, how many of you are aware of the operating system. Let's talk about that. Okay, how many of you are really working on to the Linux operating system? Yeah, come on, feel free to discuss. So Ashwin is working on to that. Anyone else? Come on, all the participants. Okay, so I would like you to suggest, okay, Tanmay is working
Hello,
on to that. Yes, who is
ma'am.
it?
Actually, I have just recently started working on with the Linux operating system,
Oh, good to know,
in the
Tanmay.
last 1 month. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't have much of the experience with that, but I'm trying
Mm-hmm.
to gain the knowledge.
Good to know. So somewhere you need to start with it. The reason why I'm suggesting to have the Linux operating system because you can play around the things and you can think about that how exactly the vulnerability is going to impact the different kind of exposure of data. Okay, which this particular functionality is not openly given by the Windows operating system until and unless you go into the detail to find out the Windows operating system or to find out the vulnerabilities into it, it is quite tough to understand that particular thing. Yeah, anyone else? So I think only two of your class they are working with the Linux operating system. Fine. So rest all of you, I'm asking this particular question that are you scared about the Linux or how exactly you would like to have? Yes, Akash, Anubhav, Atul, are you scared about the Linux operating system? Would you like to work with the Linux operating system? Because since see, these things you have chosen, so I think it is really going to be good if you start working on the Linux operating system.
I have worked a little bit on Linux. I'm not afraid of it. It just I haven't used in a while. So.
Okay, so Anubhav, can you tell me that where exactly, what exactly you have worked with the Linux so that I can give you the understanding about from where you need to start?
Um, no, actually, I did that ethical hacking course. So I used Kali Linux a bit a lot. Used a different
Uh-huh.
set of tools that and worked with some little bit different OS of Linux, like Mint and some other bit
Mm-hmm.
other different.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and a little bit familiar about the directory of those systems
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and little bit commands also, but not in depth, but a
Okay,
little bit.
fine. Okay. Are you aware of that how to check the ports of the in the Linux operating system? Tanmay, you as well. So try to use the commands, which is the next start is one of the command, which is going to tell you that the ports which are being utilized by the Linux operating any of the service you say. Okay. So please check the man
Ma'am,
next. Yeah. Who is
hello,
it?
ma'am Tanmay.
Yes, Tanmay. Tell me.
Ma'am, just wanted to tell you one thing that the past 1 month I've actually worked with AWS, so I had no idea about how to handle the vulnerabilities in Linux. But as far as those ports and all, I have just a little bit of experience. So it can you can say like I'm kind of a beginner, so I don't have that much knowledge about
It's
it.
fine. See, I'm not asking you, Tanmay, to find out the vulnerability into Linux. Fine. I
Okay,
want you to understand, all the students, please do take care about this. I want you to understand a very basic things, a command of the Linux, not more than that. Specifically, please just take
okay,
care about those things. Since
okay, okay.
this is a one more unit into your, which is the network configuration as well as the things are. So I would like to ask you some of the very simple basic questions. What you can do is you can create a virtual machine at your end, which is going to have, and please make sure do not use the Kali Linux right now. The only reason behind that particular thing is because in the production you are going to work with the either the RHL flavor or the CentOS or Ubuntu. Kali Linux we are discouraging to use in the production. Kali Linux is suitable if you are working as a security researcher. Please do take care about. So it is good to have the Kali Linux virtual machine at your end. But actually, what are the permissions being given to each and every directory structure of the Linux is going to be different into the Kali Linux or onto the CentOS or the RHA. Please do take care about it. Okay, so it is good to have two virtual machines running at your end. Have the Kali Linux, have as well the CentOS, create the virtual machine for the same. So you must be having two different machines running at your end, because for the vulnerability tools we do require the Kali Linux, but to understand the permissions and how exactly the things are, we are going to have the the CentOS. Are you getting all the participants? Please do take care about, so you can install the you can create two different virtual machine. One is going to be with the Kali Linux and one is going to be with the CentOS 7. Fine. Anything else? So, are you aware of the cat command? Are you aware of the, the VI editor? Are you aware of that? Or I do not bother about the VI editor. Nano is also going to work for me. Are you aware of the grep command? Are you aware of /etc shadow file? Are you aware of /etc password file? Hello?
No, ma'am, not really.
Okay. So, Devraj, can you do one particular thing? So, and this could be the question, for all the participants, I would like to say. Can you install the CentOS at your end? Please install it.
Yes,
Create a
ma'am.
virtual machine.
Yeah.
Create it. Do not do the
Yes.
dual boot. Create the virtual machine at your end. Fine. And with the that particular thing, as soon as you do, so two files are going to be created. One is the /etc password and one is the /etc shadow. Now, why do I want or why do I expecting you to have the CentOS system? The reason is because whenever you talk about the vulnerability, you need to first understand the system. We always say do not give the 777 permission to any of the file. The reason is behind that is because whenever the Linux system, there are three different kind of access or four different kind of access you can say. One is the discretionary. We are going to go into the detail of that. Discretionary, that means user is trying to give the permission. Suppose right now you are working as a student right now and you are accessing the LMS. Fine. And after some time you realize no, you are a bad student and you would like to have, to elevate the permission. Now, elevate the permissions means what? Do you have the authenticity to elevate the permission? Oh, sorry, not the authenticity, the authorization. Do you have the authorization to elevate your own permissions so that you can work as an instructor? Are you getting, Devraj, what I'm trying to tell you?
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
you need to understand the permissions, how exactly each and every file is going to have the permissions. The permissions, what we say is RWX, that means read, write, and execute. I'm not aware of that. How many, how much are you, or how much do you have the knowledge about the users as well as groups? Are you aware of the groups in the Linux operating system? Yeah. Have you fired any of the command ls-l? Come on, all the
Ma'am,
participants. If not, then we need to do it. If not, just tell me.
some of few of us might have, but most of us won't. So it
Okay,
would be better
fine.
if you
So
could
the very
revive
first
us.
thing, what is expected right now, Anubhav, right now? So very first thing is that you need to take care about the installation of your, what you can say, virtual machine, or the creation of the virtual machine at your end. So let me start my own virtual machine. and let me share the screen. Is my VMA visible to all of you? Hello? Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Is it
ma'am, it is.
showing a black screen with a loading?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Yes, it can see.
Okay, so I'm starting right now the CentOS 7. So this virtual machine I expect you to have at your end, so that you won't be having any of the problem to understand the concept whatever we are going to discuss. Yeah. So let me log in. So this is the thing what I want at your end as well. So which doesn't require much every day, but yeah, when the time comes, so we do require as well. So just make sure you are going to have these things. Okay, if I do ls minus l, so just take care, it is as simple as that. So this is the RWX permission what I'm talking about. Are you getting all the participants? Just take care about RWX. This is for the owner. This R and X is for group, and this R and X for others. I think you must have studied into your introduction to the operating system or iOS some of the Linux commands. So it won't take time
Yes.
to revise the things, but yeah, so these are the quite normal commands. So RWX, that means it is a read, write, execute permission, read permission as well as the execute permission, read permission and the execute permission for a one particular file, or you can say 755. 4 is for R, 2 is for W, and 1 is for execute. Fine. So 4 plus 2 plus 1, that means 777 permission. If you are going to give, that means you are trying to open up the vulnerability to access that particular drive or access that particular file over the network. So 777, that means anyone is going to take care about, anyone can access this particular thing. So please make sure we won't go ahead into the depth of what is the Linux operating system, how does it work. This is not the part of the course, but you need to understand those things. So some of the documents, like for example, to take care about the access control, what is the mandatory access control, what is the discretionary access control. So you must be having the installation of this thing so that we can discuss about the access control list or SEL. We can discuss about the SE Linux, which is a part of the mandatory access control. We can take care about the role-based access control as well, since it is role-based access control cannot be shown over here onto this CentOS, because role-based access control is based on the policies, and we won't go into the detail of those many of policies on the Linux operating system. But yeah, so some of the things what I can show you onto Linux operating system. Other than that, which what we do require is a network. So I do want you need to have the information of this particular command net start. Okay, so this is a net start which is going to show you the port number where the process is being connected. So you can go and see the man net start command to exactly see that, okay, this particular Unix process or the Linux process is being connected with this particular port or this particular stream. So just take care about how exactly the things are. So we'll discuss the net start command. Kali Linux I do require, yeah, let me show you the uh, tail minus 10. Let me show you the /etc password file. So /etc password file contains the information about whatever the users you are going to create. Those many of users exist into the /etc password file. So you need to have the understanding about the /etc password. Along with that, you need to have the understanding about /etc shadow file. /etc shadow file, it contains, the second is going to contain the password. So just look at this particular string contains it's the encrypted password. Now encrypted password, the password is going to be encrypted by some of the hash algorithms. Please do take care about. So those hash algorithms are, for example, SHA-256, for example, MD5 is also there. So $6, this is the first string, is going to tell you that which particular hash algorithm a system is using to encrypt your password. Please do take care about. So that's why if I just say ls minus l /etc shadow file, so just look at, I do not have any of the permissions set into the /etc shadow file. Please do take care about. Root is a owner as well as the root is a group, but I do not have any permission. Only the CentOS server or the RHEL server is supposed to do the changes into this file. Are you getting? But if you are accessing the Kali Linux, so as far as I'm able to recall the Kali Linux, it is you are going to have the RW permission over here for the Kali Linux, for the user or for the root user, you can say. Okay, so how this thing, so this is again the vulnerability. Then there is a vulnerability that when I'm going to, how I can just bypass the SLNX. So these are the things what we are going to have with the system specific vulnerabilities. When you are going to have the application specific vulnerabilities, that time you need to understand how you are going to code, how exactly, what are the coding standards you need to have. Some of the participants from your class was there with me on the with the VNV as well. And that time we have discussed this particular thing strongly. We are not using any of the waterfall or the agile. We are using the DevOps or the DevSecOps. The reason is because right now in today's world, the security is being embedded by design. It is not a one particular layer which is created on top of your application. No, it is being processed as by design. So at the time of design, at the time of implementation, at the time of deployment, you need to take care about the configuration which is going to understand the protection of your system. There are these two words are quite different. When you say security, the security is by the external, you can say entities, and when you say the protection, protection is you're protecting the system by the internal entities. Are you getting? So that's what I'm planning to have this particular thing. And After that, slowly we will discuss the OWASP as well, which is the top 10 vulnerabilities. But those vulnerabilities are with respect to the web application. But there are many applications, for example, the operating system, for example, the configuration of the operating system, which are running and which you need to understand as well. So that is my overall, the things what we need to have. So any suggestions are really welcome. This is my overall thing, what I'm going to have or what I'm going to discuss with you. If you would like to move ahead with some specific things, you are really welcome to discuss with me. Yeah, anyone? Please feel free to discuss with me any expectation what you are having from this particular class. Feel free. Yeah, one expectation I do have from your classes that please make sure have as many as interaction as possible, because this course you have chosen for your own career option. So just make sure about that and ask each and everyone to join the session. Yeah, so please let me know. Yeah, what is the expectation you carry with this particular course? Come on, all the participants. You can suggest me as well that how the session should be. Hello.
Ma'am, for now, like since this is the first lecture, we could just go with the flow for a week or so, and then if we have any, we would let you know.
No, no. What? Come again, please, Devraj. Can you please little bit louder?
Ma'am, I was saying like since this is the first lecture, we will like go with the flow like for a week or so, and then
Uh-huh.
if we have any suggestions, we will let you know for sure.
Sure, but just let me know that what are the different kind of application you would like to be covered, because this is my own things what I have taken care about. Other than that, if any other you would like to cover in during the session, you can just let me know that. Right?
Okay, ma'am. Will do.
So okay. So we'll stop for today, I think, and since today is the first session, but I would like to request all of you, so please make sure that you go through the Linux operating system. It should not happen that you do not understand the command or you do not understand what exactly these files are going to move on. So please make sure about that. You need to have at least some basic knowledge about how exactly the Linux operating system works. Fine. Okay, so I'll take the attendance right now. PRN 8,
Present, ma'am. Present, ma'am.
9, absent. PRN 15,
Present, ma'am.
18, Atul
Yes, ma'am.
Srikumar, 19,
Present, ma'am.
20,
Present, ma'am.
24,
Present, ma'am.
29,
Yes, ma'am. Present.
36, 37,
Present, ma'am.
38, 39,
Present, ma'am.
40, 44, 47, Ashwin,
Yes, ma'am.
51, Muskan,
Present, ma'am.
50,
Present, ma'am.
53,
Present, ma'am.
57, Palakji,
Present, ma'am.
61, 64, 72,
Yes, ma'am.
73,
Yes, ma'am.
74, 80, 84, Kanya, 86,
Present, ma'am.
87,
Present, ma'am.
89,
Present.
93, 96, 103, 104,
Yes, ma'am.
105, 107, 109. Okay, and I request all the participants, so please feel free to suggest me if anything you want to have the specific attention, you can always suggest me. Fine. So all the best, my dear students, and stay healthy and stay safe. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye bye.
Thank you, ma'am.